Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today's video is a how to build on the brand new LR Zeldris. So this LR Zeldris, he has quite high CC. I think he has 73k, I think I want to say, when he's like fully like perfect HP defense gear, all outfits maxed, 6'6", that kind of stuff. And True Awakened as well. But yeah, let's have a look at him. Mine's just over 70k. 105% pierce rate's quite good, 90% resistance is actually very good. 132 base crit chance is very good. 266 crit dam with HP defense, insane. 92 crit res, once again, it's okay. Crit def 112 is actually quite high. Lifesteal, that's actually quite high as well. And recovery rate I don't really care about. Onto his skills, so he has a spike and remove ult gauge skill, which is unfortunately not the good remove ult gauge. But I guess that's okay. Normally the good remove ult gauge is 1 orb at level 1, 2 orbs at level 2, 3 orbs at level 3. Normally characters actually have that, but I guess it sort of is fair not to give him that because he's an LR. But the multiplier is increased and he has a remove ult gauge. He's got ult control, which is quite nice. His AoE now decreases enemies' crit resistance, which applies before you attack. So when you're using the skill, it applies before the skill goes off, which is quite nice. Inflicts despair damage. That's basically a healing skill, and it's quite nice. Crit res lower. It's not crit defense and crit res lower, it's just crit res lower. So it's 20%, 30%, and 50% at gold. Then you have his ult, which is still the same spike ult with the same multiplier, but now it just decreases all enemies' HP related stats by 25% for 3 turns, which is quite nice. Also because he does extra damage based on if the enemy has debuffs. He does the same command, and the command hasn't changed. His passive has changed a little bit, increased the hero's crit chance by 100% for 2 turns at the start of the battle, so he starts with about, wherever he has, starts with like 230, which is quite nice. Increase the hero's crit chance by 30% for each orb removed from the enemy's ultimate move gauge with the hero's skill use. So basically, whenever you play a skill and you load the enemy's when you load the enemy's ult gauge, you end up getting an extra 30% crit chance, which is quite nice. Up to 9%, so he can get 9% crit chance, so he himself can have 220% with no first turn, which is quite nice. The hero's damage dealt increased by 80% when attacking a debuffed enemy. Once again, he's a debuff skill, it's not too bad, it's quite easy. In addition, the hero's crit damage is increased by 120% for 1 turn when the hero moves a skill, which is it's okay. His command will lower his ult gauge, but that's completely fine. Crit damage increasing by 30% for each orb removed from the hero's ult remove gauge. So not only will you gain 120% crit damage, you're actually getting another 30% because you'll be moving a skill, which will lower your ult gauge even more. And then of course there's Relic, which if the hero's ult move gauge is decreased, or if the hero skill uses its use decrease an enemy's move ult gauge. So basically, if either you deplete your own ult gauge on Zeldris, or you deplete an enemy's ult gauge with Zeldris, your entire team gets 6% basic stats up to 5 times, which is actually insane. This is his Relic that made him the red one quite good for PvE, and now it's going to be quite useful in PvP. More basic stats for demons is kind of what they really needed. It's kind of only what they've got, but more basic stats the better. I've gone with HP defense on Zel, mainly because I'm not really going to be using him in geared, and still then I'm probably going to be using him as like a support character. Like, yeah, he does deal a lot of damage, but I can see him being quite a good support because he can lower crit res, which is quite nice, especially because humans have such high crit resistance. Lowering crit res is quite nice. Also, he'll be like a secondary DPS, he's not a primary DPS. Outfits wise, these are all the free ones I've gone. So you've got the LR one, Final Boss, red SSR, sorry, the red UR one. That's the blue UR one, and that's the red SSR variant. Weapons, once again, these are all free ones from events. Headgears, these are all the ones I've got. Pretty sure that's just the default one. That's an affinity, that's the Final Boss one, and this is the LR one. So I'm missing 2 headgears, which is fine. And of course, I'm with the Relic as well. Overall, Zeldris is a really good character. If you can get him, go for it, because he is quite good. Of course, I have every LR in the game, and I would recommend you get every LR as well, just in case, they end up being a meta, because that's what happens. They all have quite good CC, so they could always come back in the meta, and it's always good to have them, because high CC is good box CC. But anyway, thank you for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and nearly 1,000 subs. I'll see you next one. Goodbye.